Oh, it's time to grab your glasses, family. It's time for us to get started. I'm so excited. Sitting up here, Kid Magic Rock. Shots out. Here we go. Drink your water. Come on, drink your water, but first, take your breath
and drink your water.
Take your breath and drink some water.
Take your breath.
Take your breath and drink some water.
Take your breath.
Drink. Or should I say,
Breathe. Then drink. All right, family. Hopefully by now you know the importance of the breath. And I want to remind you that you are now listening to the Daily Spark, man, where I'm trying to light the culture on you every single day. I am reporting live from Simberland, and this is the final day, so we have to go and do our final libations. So I want to get this show in. So sadly, there will be no morning notes this morning because, we press for time. And as we move into the school year, I'm going to see how that's going to work out. If we're going to continue that, I probably need to see how many people have been checking out the morning notes. Because if not, I could just jump on the show and just do my thing. You know what I'm saying? All right, family. First off, I want to say great Kuumba to each and every last one of you. That's right. We are on Kuumba. We are in Kuumba. But we are in Kuumba on the week of Umoja. So now, for those of you that are new, that if you just now listening, right, you just now becoming familiar with the Nguza Saba, don't stress yourself out. Just in your day today, I want you to notice all the creativity around you, in your life and going on around you, right? Because as we start learning to look into the world and we start learning to look at the world through our lens, we want to start empowering ourselves. Because we have been trained to notice things, but most of the things we've been trained to notice are not beneficial to us. Okay? I want you to start noticing your principles every day. Now, those of you that's a little bit more advanced, right? You're not only going to go out and you'll see Kuumba, but since we're in the week of Umoja, you need to go and relate the principle of the day to the principle of the week. How does your Kuumba contribute to Umoja? How do you see Umoja through the lens of Kuumba? You got it? Work with it. Roll with it, right? Struggle with it, right? Struggle with the question. That's what we're not used to anymore. We're used to instant answers, instant food, instant shows. I am challenging you to wrestle with concepts. Our culture requires that because our culture is built on mastery, right? Built on mastery. What do you bring to the culture? What do you bring to the nation? What do you bring to your tribe, right? And we need to accentuate that, and we need to have deep study because we got a lot of 30-minute experts. Let me say that. Individuals who discovered something 30 minutes ago, and because they watched a YouTube video, they are now an expert at it. They feel that they can debate or should be able to debate somebody who has been in the game or in that thing for over 30 years, for over 40 years, for over, let's even say 10 years, or let's say 5 years of deep, serious study, picking up books, listening to lectures, going to places so that they can be informed, more informed about the thing that they are studying, right? There's no instant mastery. You can't get it in the package. You got to dedicate something to it. And I want y'all to remember that those of y'all in this culture, we respect mastery. And usually mastery comes with eldership. It don't always have to be with elders. Because as Baba Dali always remind us there's a difference between an older, somebody who just got old, and an elder, somebody who was able to contribute to the collective, somebody who was able to move the group forward through their wisdom, through their insight, right? Through their skill. They could pass something on into the culture. It's a difference. You got people that just get old, and you got people who mature like wine and get better with age. And they can pass on shortcuts to the young folks that make life easier for them as well as the collector. Now, I don't want to get all into that. That's a whole nother show. But I want you to really think about that, right? As we move forward. So now, today on this Kuumba, and I know, shots fired. Yep. I'm about to fire some shots. I don't know what's going on, but over the last couple of days, my little algorithm that I created for finding African proverbs have been throwing up proverbs that we used before. But I will say that it has not used them before, right? Because I go back through the log and I can see the proverbs that it's pulling up. It has not used these proverbs. So I will celebrate that fact. But we have used this proverb. But I'm going to use it because what it does, it goes in and it matches the proverb with the algorithm of the day. So, I mean, what more can I ask for? And I have not yet programmed the Ubuntu loop into it. Matter of fact, I got to look up the Ubuntu loop for y'all today. In fact, let me do that real quick. All right, I found the Ubuntu loop for the day so we can move forward. But before we get into even Ubuntu loop, let's go and let's look at the proverb. The proverb of the day is the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. That's from the Shona people. Now, we have covered this before. Right? So this one should not be a shock for us. But we have to remember that the axe forgets, the tree remembers. The axe don't have to carry the pain, right? The axe don't have to carry the scar, right? The axe hits the tree and can move on to the next if it don't chop it down or even if it chops it down. But the tree, because it's a living thing, right, with Ashe flowing through it, feels it, and it holds the trauma. It holds the pain, right? Now, a healthy tree will overgrow the mark. We'll get into that a little bit as we go into the script, but I just want y'all to hit that one, right? The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. Family, you the tree, I'm trying to shake that memory, right? We got to remember what we went through. And I know sometimes you don't want to remember what you went through. Not just, you know what I'm saying? Because even sometimes we'll mask the fact of what we went through as a people as a way for us not to deal with our personal pain. I'm moving around because I need to put some frankincense on the coals. We in ritual moment right now, right? And many of us, we will disguise us the fact that we're hiding our own personal pain with the fact of looking at our historical pain. But many of us, we can't really deal with the historical stuff because we have not dealt with the personal, right? We have not dealt with what's going on in our family, what's going on in our lives now, right? And we mask that by, plugging in to things outside of ourselves, the problems outside of ourselves. Family, this morning, I want you to take some time and remember. Remember, yes. Open some of those, yes. Remember. Look back. Because from those wounds come lessons, right? From those wounds come healing that you may have needed. You know, sometimes you can heal, but if it's healed wrong, it could be crippling, right? Have you ever noticed somebody who had a leg break, but it didn't heal right and they can't walk right, or their arm was broke and they can't use their arm to the full ability of a functional arm because it was broke, and because it was broke, right? Because it was broke and not didn't heal properly, they can't use it anymore, or they can't use it properly. Many of us, see, because we got to realize our lives are tools in the larger game. Our lives are tools in the cultural game. Our lives are tools in all of these higher structural games. And if we as a team, as a group, have not analyzed ourselves and prepared ourselves, we leave gaps that can be taken advantage of. When we don't heal ourselves, we leave ourselves exposed. Our enemies have studied us. Our enemies have studied human psychology. Our humans have studied emotions. Our humans have studied all aspects so that they have the ability to take advantage. But they studied everything but themselves. I'm telling you, you need to study yourself. Because within your pain, within your suffering, within your personal healing is our liberation. Because when you heal and I heal, what can be put in between us to cause beef? You know why people fight over money? Because they believe that money will fill in the gap in their life. So they fight over it. They fight because they think when they get that money is going to be what they've been missing in their life. And once they plug that money in, all of the problems will go away. When in fact, that's not it. Our enemies will throw money in between us. Our enemy will throw women or men in between us. Will throw jobs in between us. They'll play with the emotions. They'll play with those things that will make us, that we believe will make us whole, but will do nothing. Because once you get them, and it took me being a reader of books, looking for solutions, right? I was able to pick this lesson up early, right? Whether I'm reading a comic book or whatever, they never end. They never give you the final thing. There's always something else. Always. Right? So in life, please understand, there is no final solution that you're going to get that's going to solve all your problems. You have to be aware of that and prepare yourself so that when the next one comes, you have the tools to conquer it, right? Right? Because listen, Marcus Garvey said, what man has done, man can do. If you solved a problem in your life before, there's a good chance that the next problem that comes in your life you can solve. You have the tools. More money is not going to solve the problem, right? It can alleviate the pain for a little bit. You could dope yourself up with the money, right? Or in some cases, I can give you money. In fact, there is a proverb that says, listen very closely, if you want to kill a fool, give him a bag full of money. Damn, I ain't even get into, I'm sorry. Anime, calm down. Anime is upset. Simba is like, come on, man, we in Simba land. He roaring. Y'all hear him? He out here roaring. Like, what is you doing, Hot Tim? You ain't even on the script. I ain't even on the script. That's why Brother Hot Tim needs a script, family. That's why I need a script. All right. Remember, the axe forgets, but the tree remembers. We are the tree. They are the axe. And there's a folk, and I'm trying to get off of this. There's a folk tale that talks about how the axe was created back in the days when humans had relationships with animals and trees, where we could speak to each other. A man came up with an idea, and he needed a small tree. So in order to get a piece of wood, even a piece of dried wood, or what would be considered a young tree, you had to speak to the forest. So he went before the council of forest, the elders of the forest, and he asked them for a piece of wood. You know what I'm saying? Preferably a young, strong tree. And they asked him what he was going to do with it, and he told them that he was going to create this thing called an axe that he would use to cut down trees. With the elder trees being confident that human beings would never be able to, because back in these days, we haven't seen trees like these. Gigantic monster of tree. I want you to imagine forests full of giant redwood-like trees, but they're not redwood, but because they had time to actually grow, right? Rather than destroying the trees, the people had to work around the trees. You couldn't just go into a forest; there'd be a war, right? Forest spirits would come. It's just mythology, right? But anyway. So the elders laughed at the man. Oh, okay, you're going to cut us down. Okay, cool. You could take some of those young saplings over there. Right? So the man took the young sapling. He only took one. He dried it out. He sanded it down. Let it dry a little bit more. Make sure it was firm and strong. Then he took some of the earth that he had, formulated the metal, created the metal, and stuck it and made a shape so that he would be able to fit the wood into it. Got the wood in there nice and tight and went back to the forest and started chopping. And now, in the story ends there. But the trees, the elder trees, have a final saying where they says, because we neglected our young, this man has taken the young and used them against us. I want y'all to hear that. I want y'all to hear that. I don't know if y'all heard that, right? The axe forgets, but the tree remembers. That's the proverb. But I just want to share that story because they had the axe and the tree. But then once again, the tree were the start of their own falling because they didn't think they could be conquered. So they just gave up their youth. I want you to think about that, how a culture could get to such a point to where they could just surrender their youth to their enemy or their competition. How unwise is that? All right, let's get to the algorithm. Oh, am I still on pause? The fuck is going on? Check one. It say I'm recording. All right. Well, I'm gonna trust that we are still recording. Man, what's going on? Oh, all right. So the algorithm of the day is my creativity is a weapon against oppression. Yeah. My algorithm says my creativity is a weapon against oppression. Now, I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to have to do a part 2 because it looked like my recorder is not recording. So I'm going to stop rather than do all this that I'm about to do right now and destroy something. So it says 11.